My name is Morgan Wallace, and I'm interviewing Leroy Hamilton. What kind of pictures do you take?
You know what? I enjoy taking all kinds of photos. I think I enjoy people more than any other types of photos, but I do nature photos. I love beautiful seascapes. I'm from California, and there's always something beautiful to photograph here, so I do like going outdoors and taking nature shots.
Okay. Do you know or have you met any famous photographers?
Well, you know, I know Howard Bingham, who photographed Muhammad Ali, and I done several events with him. But I had the chance to photograph Gordon Parks for HBO. And I remember bowing down, getting on my knees and bowing down to him, and he was like, "Get up, man, get up." But that was such an incredible experience for me to be in his presence because I respect so much of his work.
Okay. Do you travel a lot when you're taking your pictures?
Well, you know what? I've had the opportunity to travel to several states within the U.S. on behalf of some of my clients. And in fact, photography has enabled me to see places that I probably would have never seen if I wasn't a photographer. So I've been in New York, Chicago, D.C., Atlanta, and a few other places as well.
Did you always think you were going to be a photographer when you were younger?
No. I was a freshman in college, and I followed my my freshman roommate down to the darkroom, and saw what he was doing, and was so excited about the process of being in the darkroom that I started doing it on a regular. And that's how my interest in photography developed, and it was like a drug for me. So I'm high on photography.
Okay. Did you take any special classes after you thought you were going to be a photographer?
You know, the funny thing, I've never taken a class. I consider myself to be a self-taught photographer, and I did try to take a class one time at LA Trade Tech, right near downtown Los Angeles. And it's a night class, but I worked nights at the post office at that time. So it's very, very difficult for me to do it. So I think I went to 2 classes and just quit. And I think another reason why I didn't feel that I wanted to take classes is because in every other class situation, teachers wanted me to give them the answer that they wanted, not the answer that I thought was the right answer. And so when you're very creative, you want it to be your answer based on your creative judgment. And so I've shied away from taking classes even late in my career because I just think that I know what I want to get.
Okay. Is anyone else in your family a photographer?
They all have iPhones and Blackberries and stuff, and so in a way they are, because the new technology has enabled so many people to now very comfortably record images that you had to be very skilled to do back in the day, where you had to load film. So I'd say all of my family members are now photographers.
Okay. How many cameras do you have or own?
You know, it's hard to count because I have multiple film cameras that I don't use anymore that are just here. I have probably 6 to 10 digital cameras. And what I don't end up throwing out the old cameras, I keep the old ones. So I have old Canons, I have old Nikons, I have new Nikons and new Canons.
Okay. Do you know where the best place is to buy camera equipment?
Well, I'll tell you, my favorite spot is this place called B&H in New York, because it's like going to a candy store. It's huge. You walk in, any lens that you ever imagined or saw in an ad, they have it right on the shelf. But in Los Angeles, Sammy's Camera is a nice place to go. There's a place called Calumet. There's Bel Air Camera in Westwood. And my favorite place is a place called Simon's Camera on Highland, because it's a very small mom and pop operation and they treat you like you're a superstar there. So that's my favorite store.
Okay. Do you know what the easiest camera to use is?
The iPhone. I mean, there are a lot of cameras. You can put any camera on program, and in the perfect situation, you'll get exactly what you want. But that's where skill comes in. When you encounter a situation where the lighting is tricky, or you're shooting in a very low lit situation, in those situations, the cameras don't always work on automatic, and so you have to use your professional skill or professional knowledge to determine what's the best setting.
Okay. Do you use computer technology in your photography business?
Every day. Because with digital photography, you not only the camera itself is a computer, so you're transferring those images from the camera, that computer, to either a laptop or desktop. I'm even using the iPad here as a vehicle for processing my photography too, because I can shoot and wirelessly transmit photos from my camera right to the iPad. So it's a great tool.
Okay. Do you know how to use Photoshop?
Yeah, I do. I started out probably with Corel Photo Draw or something like that, and it's a great tool to use for processing photos.
Okay. Do you know how to develop your own photographs?
That's how I started. But I think the challenge for me is I really didn't like the chemicals, and so back in the day, you would spend maybe 6 hours in the darkroom processing, and the chemicals would get it in my skin, and I would start itching. I had bumps on my arm, and so I don't miss the chemicals, but I do miss the experience of being in a darkroom, that solitary time where you can look at your images and watch them develop. And I'd have my music bumping, and I had some old Earth, Wind and Fire, and Cameo, and I would just be in there having a great time.
Okay. What is the most difficult thing about being a photographer?
Interviews. Now, the most difficult thing is if you're creative and you respect people, being confused with the paparazzi. Because I'm not paparazzi.
Okay, well, that's it.
That's it?
Yes. Thank you.